This is a Big Facts Network exclusive.
At Togetherland, Big Facts Live continues. Big Bang, DJ Scream, Baby J. Welcome today, NFL legend, and also a part of the Pivot Podcast. Ryan Clark don't pull it up on us.
My man, appreciate y'all.
You good?
Yeah. I'm good. I'm gonna tell you what. Y'all really about that action, man, because it's hot out here.
Yeah.
To be shooting a show
We've been out all
under
day
these lights, dog.
We were just told success comes with blood, sweat, and tears. We got the sweat today for sure.
Hell yeah. Nah, I think just the space though. This is what it's about. Being able to be mobile, be in different spots, talk to different groups of people. So man, salute to y'all for doing the work. Same thing with us with the Pivot. So I understand it totally.
The Pivot is big.
The Pivot is dope, bro.
Man, thank you, man.
Big
Appreciate
fan,
that,
bro.
man. Thank you.
Yeah.
What made you decide to y'all decide to start the Pivot Podcast?
So Channing and Fred, well, I Am Athlete first. That kind of dissolved. The producer that was with them had left, and they were having a discussion about starting the podcast, and they wanted to get a third person. She recommended me. We hopped on the phone for like an hour, sort of came up with the idea, came up with the name, and then it was just executed. You know, I go back and look at the first shows, and I'm like, man, we were really trash. You know what I'm saying? Like, those were not great shows, but everything's progressed now. We just announced a deal with Fanatics last week. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Hopped on with Tom Brady right after the roast. And so things have been going well. Now we're finishing up just Mental Health Awareness Month. Because y'all know, man, in our communities, we can't afford depression.
Right.
Like, we don't grow up in a spot where black people really talk about that. So that's been big for our podcast this month.
So let me ask you a question. With the dynamic on you guys' show, how difficult is it to stand your ground about your personal opinions without being offensive to your castmates?
Well, one, we're always together.
Yeah.
Right? So, like, if I say something on the show, if it's not something we've already talked about, they know me well enough that they can kind of predict that's where I'm going to be with it.
Yeah.
And in most conversations, too, like, it ain't about them.
Right.
Like, if I disagree with him, I'm not disagreeing with the human
Who
he is.
I
just disagree with his take.
Exactly.
You know, and so we always try to be respectful about that. And a lot of times, too, like, we're trying to push a positive message.
For sure.
Right? And so, like, if we disagree with where somebody is on something, we allow them to have that space.
Yeah.
Right? Like, this ain't first take.
Yeah.
Right? You know what I'm saying? So we ain't trying to prove nothing at the cost of the other person.
Right. Okay.
What you think the key is, if you're an athlete, football, basketball, whatever the case is, to maintaining your finances? Because we hear that story over and over again about people basically fucking their money up.
Well, one, in the case of me being married, get you a woman that knows how to say no for you.
Okay.
Right? Like, I met, you know what I'm saying? So I met my wife when I was 17. I met her in high school.
Oh, that's dope.
We were best friends early throughout college. And so she knows, for me, I'm like, give.
Yeah.
Right? I feel like God blessed me to bless others.
Right.
But also, you can't give it to the point to where you don't have.
Exactly.
And so for us, it was about making sure we were smart with our money, that we were financially stable, and then understanding what money we had that we could be disposable with.
Yeah.
Right? We want to go, my kids are named Jaden, Jordan, and Logan. We're not going to take Jaden, Jordan, and Logan.
Okay.
We're not going to take food off of their plate to do something frivolous or to have fun or whatever that was.
Yeah.
But like anything, man, I had a teammate, she's like, hey, man, you can't die with it, which is true. But I can leave something to my kids. Think about, like, the wealthy people in other cultures. They always have something set up for those who come behind them to not have to struggle as much as they did. And so once we did that, once we could set those things aside, you know, we were able to start doing some more things for ourselves, doing things for other people. Right. And the other thing is, I never stopped working.
That's facts.
Like, I'm still working. I'm still trying to earn. I'm still trying to create.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, how do you deal with the people that you know feel entitled to? You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, when you start doing so much, before she was able to say no for you, how do you deal with the people that fell in love with what you did for them?
I had great people, and too, for me, it came slow. So I wasn't drafted, right? So I was cut. And so I did all these other things before I became a Pro Bowler, before we won Super Bowls. And so I had so many understanding people behind me. And my parents are still married, man, still great people. Like, dog, when we got married in my second year, I wasn't on a team. They wanted, like, extra people to come to our wedding. They paid for those people. They didn't expect for me to be able to have it all. For me to be able to have it all, I have to do everything because they wanted a certain amount of people to come to the wedding. And so now, as I continue to make money, as I continue to grow, my parents never asked me for something, but I was able to say, nah, Mom, sit down.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you ain't got to work no more. I got you, Pops. It's okay to retire. Right? Like, how are we going to handle finances and doing things going forward? But without them being the way that they were for me, right, I couldn't get to that point.
That kind of laid your foundation.
Absolutely. But think about this. You know how great it is to be able to tell somebody, my parents don't even ask for that. Right?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like, what they going to tell you then? Right? If somebody comes to you and they say they want something, and you're going to be like, my parents wouldn't even ask me for that.
Exactly.
My parents haven't done that. My parents still work.
Yeah.
And
so
that,
really, you're out of pocket. Get out my face.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Like, clearly, you know you dead ass wrong.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but no, so like, I mean, I think it all goes together though.
Nah. So how was the shift
What's up,
for
gang?
you, like the transition? How was the transition for you, like to get into broadcasting and podcasting?
Yeah, so I interned at ESPN when I was playing. Somebody mad at y'all too, by the way.
Snake, Atlanta,
You know what I
Snake,
mean?
ATL, Snake. What's up, my
Good.
brother? Yes, you can, my brother.
What up, RD? How you doing, RC, man? Pleasure, man. Good to meet you, bro.
Yes, you can. Right after this.
Yeah, but like, so I was already planning for the transition. I majored in mass comm, and I was willing to do the work. So once you interned, I signed a contract while I was playing, and so the transition was easy for me. The harder transition was figuring out how to be authentically myself and still succeed in linear TV.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that was the hardest part.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because that's like a crazy space for a lot of people, because when you're in front of the public eye and in front of all of those people, it's kind of like, it's a lot of people that don't understand maintaining yourself. You know what I'm saying? So they'll kind of pretty much do anything to stay relevant and to go viral and to do this and that, and they don't get that losing yourself is basically losing everything.
Yeah.
Because you have to try to keep up with something that you're not, and that's hard.
Yeah, I think like the thing for me though is just like getting the opportunity to sit down with y'all. This happened organically because like I'm outside, like I'm in public.
Yeah.
Like I don't have security, right? And so the thing for me, I'm here with my 19-year-old.
Yeah.
She wanted to come. The thing for me is to have the OGs come up to me and say, hey man, you represent us well.
Exactly.
Right? For the people who I look up to, the people who I admire, or the people who I grew up in the hood seeing.
Yeah.
Right, that remind me of my uncles. Come up to me now, man. I love everything that you're
Where you
doing.
from?
I'm from New Orleans.
What?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
That's
like,
one of my favorite places in the world.
oh man, it's a beautiful
Yes,
place. But
yes.
you know, when I go back there and they show me love,
Yeah.
like that's important to me. But it's also important to me that I show that people from where we are from, people that come up like we come up, we can also navigate that world.
Facts.
Right? I can sit in
Facts.
any business meeting, I can sit in front of any camera, and I can articulate or communicate in a way that is on the level with anybody that's going to any school, that's grown up in any household. And I
Right.
think that's important for them to see from us.
Right,
Facts.
for sure.
Facts.
So
That's
outside of media, like what other ventures are you considering exploring?
Well, so my daughter is in culinary school.
Okay.
And so,
Okay.
yeah, and so she's a baker, so I'm gonna invest in her business.
Yeah.
She wants to start a bakery and a line of bakeries when she gets out. Real estate is obviously always something that I've been involved in, but with the interest rates now, that's something you got to be extremely smart about. But I've actually stayed in media, and now I'm executive producing. I have my own production company just to tell our stories.
Yeah.
Right, I want to get opportunities for people who've been in our shoes, who have played sports and feel like they haven't had a chance to be their own voice,
Yeah.
to
Right.
tell their own stories, to be the narrator, right,
Yeah.
of everything in their book. And so that's what I'm getting into more than anything now.
Wow, that's really dope, bro.
I appreciate you, bro.
Yeah.
Shit.
What's something you would say to our community and to the young people, like some game or some gems that you would give them?
Yeah, I think this is a gem I'm sure they've already gotten. Like, you can't be afraid of work.
Don't be afraid of work.
Like, we all, like, I want to be able to rest. I want to be able to sit at my house. But I can't sit at my house comfortably knowing that I left something undone, right? And the other piece of it is, too, like, give yourself grace,
Yeah.
right? Because, like, and y'all know this, once your family and the people around you know that you've done enough to be at this event, there's now an expectation of the next step, of the next thing, as if we're never going to have a misstep.
Yeah.
Right? Or if we're never going to like stumble, right? Or you're never going to backslide or any of those things. And it's like, when we do that, there's so much pressure on us to succeed that you could fold. Like, give yourself grace, man, to know that, like, you're not always going to make the right decision. Everything's not going to continue to flow in the right direction.
And allow yourself to fuck up.
Man, real talk. Very simple.
It's like riding a bike. So, we appreciate you pulling up.
Man, thank y'all, man. Appreciate y'all. That was cool.
Y'all make sure y'all check out the Pivot Podcast.
If you're up in Atlanta.
We got to get a full interview out of you. This was really enlightening. It was so nice meeting you.
Bro.
My man, thank y'all. Appreciate y'all.
Okay.
How long y'all out here?
So Monday?
Yeah, we're doing both days,
We got to get one picture, and then you good. No, we need you to sit out,
You got to tell me.
Backwoods Backstage at Twogether. BigFactsPod.com. Salute.